I be so sick of you niggas, y'all contradicting. I be so bold myself when you come and fuck me. I feel so ordinary, except when you around me. Treat me like water while you wear me out. Arguments, you air me out. Tripping about you.
Now that I'm done with chemo, I wanted to sit down, do my makeup, talk to you guys a little bit about everything that I have been experiencing throughout this process. Chemo wasn't nearly what I expected, so that's why I really want to get into some things with you guys. I don't want to overly talk y'all's head off, so I am going to make it kind of quick, even though I'm doing my makeup. This is not a tutorial, this is me just chatting it up with the girls while I do my makeup. I want to start off with everybody's experience is different, but this is what mine looked like. Let's talk about when I found out that I needed to get chemo. So as some of y'all know, I had surgery back in December 12th to be specific. But they do this thing called biopsy where when you get surgery and you get something removed, they will send that off for testing. And so that's what they did with my left ovary, which is what I got removed. It took about 4 weeks until I received any type of results from my biopsy, which honestly caught me off guard. I thought I would hear back sooner than I actually did. And by me not getting any results like quick, I don't know why I kind of got comfortable. I didn't really think anything of it. I just thought, you know, maybe the results are delayed. I have nothing to worry about. Little did I know, when I went to I want to say it was like a 4-week checkup. I can't remember if I went January 18th or January 14th, something like that, but I know it was basically 4 weeks after my surgery. And basically my doctor kind of had like that tough conversation that needed to be had. And basically they found stage 1 ovarian cancer and we had to start with chemotherapy right away. I did request if I could start chemo after my birthday. So my birthday is January 23rd. Didn't find out till like the 14th or the 18th. And that was like a week before my birthday. So it kind of made me feel some kind of way having to start chemo like right before my birthday. So I'm like, I just want to do my birthday and then we'll go from there. So I didn't actually start chemo until February 5th. That was my first infusion. By this time, I did do a little bit of research, and obviously you don't even have to do any research to know that the biggest symptom from chemo can be hair loss. So honestly, right after that, like my biggest fear was being bald and not knowing what's gonna come from that. I also didn't know what to expect from chemo. The only thing I knew to expect was for my hair to fall off. And that is kind of the only thing that I was prepared for, if I'm being honest. But ultimately, I don't think I was prepared for it at all. So now we're at my first treatment. After my first treatment, honestly, your first treatment is really the longest because the first time that you get treatment, they are giving it to you at a slower pace than they'll give it to you any other treatment. They are kind of trying to learn what your body can take or at what rate your body can take it without feeling any crazy side effects or getting any type of skin reactions or allergic reactions, honestly. My first treatment, I almost felt like an imposter being there because when you go to the infusion site, you see a whole bunch of, you know, people getting treatment, and I felt like I was so young and I looked young, and I also had hair, so I felt like I didn't embody the characteristics of somebody going through chemo treatment. So a lot was going through my head at that point. After my first treatment, some of my symptoms were obviously fatigue. I was tired. I didn't start losing hair right away. I didn't lose hair until my second treatment. I was experiencing neuropathy at that point. So throughout my entire treatment, honestly, some of my symptoms were fatigue, neuropathy, and loss of taste. Also, y'all probably think I suck at like talking and getting ready because like I can't do both. But I'm trying. So I'm gonna do my eyebrows real quick. I think I'm growing eyebrows. Honestly, the brows have a mind of their own. It is what it is. Until I start growing eyebrows, I really can't be bothered. So yeah, a few of my symptoms were definitely, you know, fatigue, loss of appetite, lack of taste, like food didn't really taste like much. What else? Oh, duh, the big one. Neuropathy. Now, the doctors warned me about the neuropathy, and I don't want to say I was being stubborn or I didn't want to listen, but I just thought, how bad can it be? I'm only getting 6 treatments. It really cannot be that bad. But trust me, after every infusion, I felt like the neuropathy kept getting worse and worse. One thing the doctor did recommend was to take B12. I also did my research on what other like remedies or products are out there that I could use to relieve that neuropathy. For some of you guys that don't really know what neuropathy really is, it's basically like feeling tingling sensation, numbness, swelling, hands and feet. It can be the smallest thing that triggers it. Like for me, I could be washing my hands with hot water or cold water. I could be going outside to water the plants and I wasn't wearing socks, and now I'm feeling it in my feet. I'm feeling that tingling sensation, that itchiness. It can even be described as like pins and needles on your feet, and that's exactly what I was feeling. So I knew I wanted to do something about it, obviously, because I didn't want to feel like that the entire time I was going through chemo. I found some cooling pads, which I honestly have them packaged up now. I do want to save these just in case, but I would take these to my infusion religiously every single week. You know, I went through 6 rounds of chemo, so every time I went to treatment, I would take these. The ones for your hands. Yeah, these are the hands ones. Mine aren't cute, but they do come in like several different colors. They have pink. I think I saw like all blue. These are black with like the blue strap, but they do have some cute ones if you want to be, you know. I think they have purple too. The teal ones, these are the foot ones. So this is the cover. They come in like teal. These are the ice packs that you put in the freezer. That helped tremendously. Honestly, these really became a part of my routine. I know on TikTok, you know, for those of you that do follow me on TikTok, I did talk about, you know, what is in my chemo bag if you guys want to go see that. And I also included these in there. If you want to see a video of like what I was taking to chemo, then I do have that up on my TikTok for you guys to see. I feel like what really helps with these cooling pads is the cooling sensation. So you just putting that on. I was putting a sock on and then I was putting the cooling pad during treatment. Literally, I would just put them in the freezer the night before and then take them to treatment that morning. Now you can take a small cooler so that they can stay cold for longer, but they do stay cold pretty long. If it's one thing I can recommend would be, you know, to invest in them. I don't think it's that pricey. If you're being real, going through chemo is really about finding comfort and just anything that helps. Anything that can make the process easier and more comfortable for you, you need to do that. That was really one of the things that I felt like really helped out. It can be very, very hard to have to deal with neuropathy on a day-to-day basis. I am a nail tech, so I do use my hands, and my hands were starting to cramp a lot too towards the end. I felt like the cramping was kind of making it hard for me to work, or when I would wear gloves and I would take them off, I would start feeling the swelling, the tingling, all of the symptoms. And it was very frustrating for me. Not only was I using them during treatment, but I was also using them afterwards, after I was done working, just because I really felt like that was something that did control my neuropathy. And like I said, you honestly become very desperate when you're going through chemo, because it's so many side effects that you're going through that you want to find some sort of relief for some symptoms if you can. So I'm definitely glad I found those. I'm honestly starting to feel better already as it is. It hasn't even been that long, but I truly feel like I'm starting to slowly but surely get back to my normal self. Now, the hardest part emotionally about my cancer journey and just chemo in general is having to go through it and look at yourself in the mirror and not recognize yourself. And I feel like I still experience that on a regular. I don't really recognize the person that I see in the mirror, which is why, you know, you guys see me getting ready, doing my makeup, putting a cute outfit, because all of these things make me feel like the person that I was before. And I love that I'm, you know, doing anything possible to make myself feel like myself again. So it's very important during chemo that you cater to yourself and listen to your needs. And I feel like one of my needs has been self-care. Self-care is like a really big part of me, you know, slowly but surely feeling like myself, or even just feeling like myself throughout this process, because you can kind of have like an identity crisis or lose yourself in a sense. But who am I kidding? I really feel like the hardest part of it all was losing my hair. It wasn't going through chemo. It wasn't experiencing fatigue, weight gain, nausea, neuropathy, none of those. I felt like the worst one for me was losing my hair. And I feel like a lot of women can actually, you know, stand behind me when I say that. As a woman, hair is your identity. Like, we grow up thinking that hair is everything, and it's really not. Update on the hair, like, I'm not growing any hair yet, and I did a really light makeup. I'm just about to do some lip liner, but I have absolutely no hair. My doctor did say hair starts to grow 4 to 6 weeks after your last session, and it's only been 4 weeks as of today. So I am expecting to start a little something growing soon, but I won't be discouraged or upset if it doesn't grow back right now. Like, I honestly think that I'm starting to accept being bald, and I honestly like it. I actually have been embracing it. Most importantly though, celebrate every win. Every time you go, if they say your white blood cells are good to go for chemo, you haven't lost any weight, your blood pressure looks good, everything is going in the right direction, every single little bit of good news you celebrate. Yes. Looking back, I'm really proud of myself. Chemo was not easy. It was probably the most difficult thing I've ever done in my life, but just seeing myself overcome it and really fight, it taught me so much about myself. It honestly made me see myself in a different light. It made me realize how strong I am. I didn't think I could go through something like that, and I did. Like, look at me. If you're somebody that is going through chemo, I just want to send you so much love and positivity, and I want you to know that you are so much stronger than you think, and you are gonna get through this. If you're still watching, I'm glad that you've stayed this long and just listen to me yap, rant, whatever you want to call it. If you guys have any questions about my experience or any other questions that I may have not answered that you guys want me to answer, leave them down below and I will happily answer you guys' questions. But don't forget to like this video if you liked our little chat. Comment down below if you have any questions. And don't forget to subscribe because we will be posting videos weekly. So expect to see more of me soon. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.